Hi, in this video we're going to look at the January 2015 Higher Paper 1 question 17. And as you'll see, it's a proportion question. In fact, we're told that P is directly proportional to Q cubed. As soon as you see that, the very first thing you do is you write down the equation that goes with that. P equals K Q cubed, where K is a constant value. It's a number, and we're going to work out what that number is in a moment. Almost always in these questions you end up working out how to get the value of K, and then you write down your final equation that comes from that. So we do that by substituting in the two values that we've got, 270 for P and 7.5 for Q. We cube the 7.5 and then we bring it over to the other side where it becomes a division. 270 divided by 4 to 1.875, that equals K, and then we get our final answer of K equal to 0.64 K. And the formula that we write down now is just what we started with, but with the 0.64 in instead of the K. Now moving on into the second part of the question, we're told to work out the positive value of Q when P is equal to Q. So let's write down our original equation and substitute in what we have for P. We're told that P is Q, so we replace it with Q. And now we move on and we see that if we bring the 0.64 over to the other side, it becomes a division, and we now have Q over 0.64 equals Q cubed. We can divide both sides by Q to get Q over Q giving us 1 and Q cubed over Q giving us Q squared. Then we can take the square root of both sides and we find that we get the square root of 1 over the square root of 0.64. The square root of 1 is just 1, and the square root of 0.64 turns out to be 4/5. Now, if you have a calculator, and you did, well, almost certainly you would have done this calculation on your calculator, you would have used the square root button, square root of 0.64, and when you press equals, you will almost certainly get the answer of 4/5 coming up, and that will appear on your screen. If it doesn't, if you press this button here, it would change from decimal into fractions. It's always worth checking that to see if any terminating decimals that you get as a result of a calculation can be changed straight over into a fraction. Just to emphasise that, 0.64, another way of looking at that is it's 16 over 25. That might be what appears on your calculator as well. It's probably more likely to be 4 over 5. And of course 1 over 4 over 5, it's what we know as a reciprocal. If we take a fraction as a denominator and we've got 1 on the top, then we just invert the denominator and that gives us our final answer, which is 5 over 4. So the value of Q that satisfies this little problem here is going to be 5 over 4. That's all for this particular question. Thank you for listening.